What's going on, guys? And today is Tuesday, so we're going to be looking at our top 10 power rankings for week 8 in the NFL. And these teams, man, it's just so hard to rank. Like, there's a team on here I didn't think I would ever put. As recording this, I just took off a team. Yeah, it's just wild, and I don't know what to do because I don't even want to give a lot of these teams honorable mentions. But for right now, let's dive right in. Coming in at number 10 on this list, we have the Seattle Seahawks. Geno Smith is playing way better than any quarterback or any player or coach anyone could have ever expected. He's playing at almost an MVP-like level. He's absolutely amazing. Kenneth Walker right now, with the injury to Breece Hall, looks like he could be one of the best rookies in the league on the offense. He's absolutely amazing. He's completely destroying the league and taking it by storm. He ran all over the LA Chargers with no team being able to stop him so far. It looks really, really good. DK Metcalf, well, he's hurt, is also playing well. Tyler Lockett is playing well as well. Just overall, I like the way that the Seahawks are going. I don't know if that means that the issue is with Russ or what's going on, but yeah, for right now, I'm gonna have the Seahawks at number 10. Coming in at number 9, we have the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow and Ja'Marr Chase are back. The Bengals absolutely destroyed the Falcons. Ja'Marr Chase is looking like one of the best wide receivers in the league. I think that if he's not going to be a top 10 wide receiver at the end of the season, there's going to be some issues because he's playing so good right now. He's so fast, and he's just able to beat almost any corner. Joe Mixon is looking like a fantastic running back, too, and the defense for the Bengals is also looking really good. They made a Falcons team that has been playing really, really well this season, a lot better than anyone could have expected. I just think that the Bengals are one of the best teams in the league right now, and giving them the credit that they deserve, they have to be on this list. Moving on to number 8, we have a team that's above them barely. I would really like for this team to be a lot better than they are, but they're just playing bad right now. We have the Baltimore Ravens. They gave up yet another comeback and almost lost, but that defense managed to stop them. They have to figure out what's going on. The Ravens defense is just being really, really bad. I don't know what's going on with them, but they're just being rough. That secondary is letting so many yards by, and Amari Cooper was able to torch that secondary very, very easily. And I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's the defensive coordinator or if it's John Harbaugh. I don't know what's going on, but the Ravens really need to figure out something. They need to figure out what the issue is and need to improve it. But overall, I think the Ravens are a very good team, and I would like to see them improve better. Even though they're a division rival, I could still see them being one of the best teams in the AFC. Moving on to number 7, we have the New York Jets. This is a team that I had on the list last week and was really expecting to not have them on this list again, but they are just looking absolutely amazing. Breece Hall is playing at an elite level and one of the best and highest levels I've ever seen for a rookie running back since Saquon Barkley. He's absolutely amazing. He got hurt, sadly, and now the Jets have James Robinson, so I think that the Jets will probably be put lower on this list in comparison to other teams. But I think that overall, this team is very good. Zach Wilson's not playing like the best football, but he's still playing pretty well, and I think he's playing good enough to where he could actually still continue to win. But I don't know. I think this year that the Jets might actually be able to make a playoff berth, and I'm very impressed with the Jets so far. Moving on to number 6, we have a team that I think should have been a lot higher on this list than I had last week, and they could debatably be higher if the teams above them weren't just having better records. But we have the Dallas Cowboys. This team is looking like one of the best teams in the league right now. They're insane. That defense is amazing. They absolutely smothered Jared Goff and the Lions, had them completely frozen with no ability to move the ball, and when they were finally able to move the ball, it was too late, and they ended up having them lose. Or they ended up forcing a turnover, which costed the Lions the game. Like, they're just insane. I would like to see the Cowboys have a little bit more wide receiver help and maybe address that in the offseason, because CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup are not going to be the only 2 wide receivers you have on that team. Maybe also the tight end position would be pretty cool. I don't know what this team really needs. But Dak Prescott's back looking really good after he hurt his finger. And overall, the Cowboys come in at number 6. Moving on to number 5, we have the Kansas City Chiefs. This was an absolutely amazing game for Juju Smith-Schuster and MVS. Both of them coming from teams, respectively, that had mediocre quarterbacks in Juju and one of the best quarterbacks in the league in MVS having Aaron Rodgers. And they both just popped off. They look so good with the Chiefs, and the Chiefs offense is looking like one of the best offenses in the league. The defense is a little bit rusty for me, a little bit scary. I think that I would like them to be a little bit better for them to move higher, because I think that when it comes back to competing against teams such as the Bills, I think that they might not be able to beat the Bills, and I think the Bills might actually be able to beat them because their offense is a little bit better, I think, than the Chiefs' defense. But overall, the Chiefs are very, very good. They're an absolute powerhouse of a team. I'm very, very excited to see what happens next. So they have a bye week coming up, and they are able to have the ability to rest their starters and get a little bit more extra needed preparation for their next game coming up. And I think overall, the Chiefs are a top 5 team for sure. Moving on to number 4, we have one of, I think, the weakest teams with only one loss, and I still don't understand how this team only has one loss. It's the Minnesota Vikings. I don't understand how this team only has one loss. The Packers are just imploding, and the Vikings are just thriving off of that implosion. The Vikings have Kirk Cousins, who's playing so bad recently. Dalvin Cook is playing really, really good. JJ is playing amazing as usual. And overall, I'm not a huge fan of Kirk Cousins, and I don't think that he could be anything more than a game manager. But for right now, I think that the Vikings coming out of their bye have a very high ceiling and could continue to be playing really well. I would like to see their defense play a little bit better. Their defensive line is playing a little bit roughly, I feel like. And overall, the Vikings are a very good team, but I don't see them being able to keep their hot streak up for right now. Coming up this week, they have a game against the Cardinals. It is in Minnesota, and I think it's going to be a little bit rough, but Kyler Murray's a mobile quarterback, and I think he might give them some issues. Moving on to number 3, we have the New York Giants. Daniel Jones is looking like an actual MVP candidate. He rushed all over the Jaguars defense. Absolutely amazing. He also threw all over them, and wow. I don't know what Brian Daboll has managed to do in these last few months, but Daniel Jones looks like a completely new quarterback, and I love it. He's so good. That defense, too, is also looking really good. It's just insane how a team that has struggled over the last couple of years and has a lot of room for improvement, I think, in the secondary for sure, and the wide receiver core for sure, and possibly on the offensive line. Like, it's just crazy how this team that has so many holes in it is still managing to beat other teams. It's kind of crazy to me, but yeah, they coming off of a win against the Jaguars, which is why I have them above the Vikings. If the Vikings were on or weren't on a bye and still managed to win, I would probably have the Vikings above the Giants because I think that the Vikings roster is a little bit better. But I think that the Giants are having a little bit more impressive wins right now than the Vikings are, and I'm very curious to see what happens. Coming up this week, the Giants end up playing the Seahawks, and I think that the Seahawks could be a little bit of a challenge for the Giants, but overall I'm very excited to see what happens. Coming in at number 2, and I think that it's pretty obvious which teams I have at 2 and 1 because I have the same teams every week. I have the Buffalo Bills. I think that they're easily the best team in the AFC. I think that they're, for right now, if it ended, they would easily represent the AFC in the NFL or in the Super Bowl. Josh Allen is for sure a front runner of MVP right now. He has to be. He's playing at an absolutely explosive level. The running game is insane. And overall, I just am very, very impressed with the Bills. Their defense is so good, and I think that Von Miller could actually repeat and get 2 rings. There's not really much to say that people haven't already said. The Bills are one of the best teams in the league. And coming in at number 1, I probably shouldn't have them at number 1. I should probably have them at number 2, but depending on what happens this week, they might move down. I have the Philadelphia Eagles. This team is very, very, very good. Jalen Hurts is playing at almost an elite level, and their running game is just absolutely insane. I think if they lose this weekend to the Steelers, even though I don't think that they will, I think that they'll for sure drop down this list, maybe to as far as position 3 or position 4, but for right now, they're the only undefeated team in the league. They're coming off of a bye, and they're going to be playing a beat-up Steelers team, and I think that they're going to end up destroying the Steelers, unfortunately. But yeah, that's going to be my list for the top 10 teams. Just to reiterate, which I'll have a picture of the list right here, I have the Seahawks at 10, the Bengals at 9, the Ravens at 8, the Jets at 7, the Cowboys at 6, the Chiefs at 5, Vikings at 4, Giants at 3, Bills at 2, Eagles at 1. And that's going to be all I got. Take it easy.